What happens when a 7-year-old black girl is told her voice doesn't matter inside a courtroom? The polished lawyer mocks her, the judge waves her away, and jurors turn their eyes aside as if she were invisible. Yet beneath her tiny hands rests a number no one expected. One call that could shatter the silence, one twist that would bring the Pentagon itself into the room. Would justice finally listen when a child dares to speak? The gavel strikes, and the story begins. The gavel struck like a warning shot. In the center of the courtroom, a 7-year-old black girl stood on tiptoe, her small hand clutching a sheet of paper. She's too young. Sit down, the lawyer snapped, his voice slicing the room in two. A hush fell. One juror turned away, another adjusted his glasses to avoid her eyes. The judge leaned forward, shaking his head. "Children don't testify here," he muttered. For a moment, she seemed invisible, like a shadow misplaced in a place built for giants. But she did not move. She gripped the wooden bench tighter, her eyes steady, refusing to blink. The silence pressed heavy. No one thought she would dare to break it. Until she reached into her pocket, and the room held its breath. Her name was Amara. Just 7 years old, yet her voice carried the tremble of generations. She had come to speak for her father, a black veteran wrongly accused. But the defense lawyer sneered. "This isn't story time, sweetheart. Let the adults handle justice." His words fell like stones, building a wall no child could climb. A woman in the gallery whispered, "Why bring her here? She's just a child." Heads nodded. The judge lifted his pen, signaling dismissal. Amara's fingers curled around her paper, her nails leaving tiny half-moons in its edge. The lawyer leaned in closer. "Put that away. You don't belong here." His tone was rhythm, sharp, rehearsed, words meant to wound. She inhaled, shallow and shaky, but her feet stayed planted. Every second stretched, cruel and suffocating. Her mother reached forward, but Amara shook her head. "Daddy told me to speak," she whispered. No one heard, except the clerk, who froze mid-note. A moment later, she unfolded the paper. It wasn't a speech. It was a number. A direct line. Something no child should have, and no courtroom could ignore. She held it high, her voice clearer now. "If you won't let me speak, maybe they will." The gallery stirred. People leaned forward. A truth was coming, but none could guess how heavy it would fall. The phone on the clerk's desk rang once, sharp, cutting through whispers. But it wasn't the clerk who called. It was Amara, her small fingers pressing the digits without hesitation. "Pentagon operations," a firm voice answered, echoing into the microphone the judge had forgotten to mute. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The lawyer stumbled back. What is this?" His polished shoes squeaked against the floor. Amara stood straighter, paper trembling in her grip. "My father served this country. You won't erase his voice. I have theirs." The judge's gavel slammed down. "That's enough." But his voice cracked under the weight of authority he no longer owned. Confirming caller, the Pentagon voice continued. "Amara Johnson. Clearance code verified." The room froze. The lawyer's smirk dissolved, replaced by panic. Jurors exchanged frantic looks. A little girl had just pulled the highest walls of power into the smallest courtroom in the state. And for the first time, the lawyer's tongue failed him. The lawyer tried to recover. "This is a stunt. A child can't." But the clerk interrupted. "The line is real. The call is logged." His words were hushed but undeniable. Amara lowered the phone gently, her eyes never leaving the bench. "You told me children don't belong here. Maybe justice does." Her words didn't shout. They landed softer, heavier. Like stone in water, rippling outward. The judge leaned back, sweat on his brow. The jurors no longer avoided her. They leaned toward her, as if the truth demanded their ears. The lawyer reached for his notes, but his hand shook. He had lost the rhythm. His power had slipped away with a child's steady tone. In the back row, a veteran rose. "That man fought beside me," he said, nodding toward Amara's father. The silence cracked, replaced by a wave of murmurs, nods, and the weight of shame settling on the shoulders of those who had mocked her. When the verdict came, it wasn't just a decision. It was an unmasking. The false charges crumbled under the weight of testimony no lawyer could silence. Amara's father was cleared. The racist attorney faced censure, his career stained by the arrogance that a child revealed. Amara stepped forward, paper still clutched in her hand. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She simply stood, unshaken. The courtroom, once filled with doubt, now brimmed with respect. Her mother whispered, "You did it, baby." Amara looked up, eyes steady. "I just called who listens." Outside, cameras swarmed, headlines raced. But inside, one truth settled deep: power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it stands small, steady, and undeniable. The girl who was told to sit down had made an entire courtroom rise. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below and subscribe for more stories.